6 of them are in the nation's top 15. Joining me is Kathy Johnson, 1984 Olympic silver medalist. And Kathy, while we mention all these teams are outstanding, clearly the two that have emerged in the last 10 years have been Alabama and Georgia. Right now, though, Georgia does reign supreme.
Tim, in terms of depth on every event, Georgia is certainly the strongest, and their credentials in the SEC speak for themselves. 4 SEC team titles, including the last 2 in a row, 7 All-American, 4 of which make up the S squad. First, there's 1988 Olympian Hope Spivey Shealy. As a freshman, she won the all-around national title and vault and floor. Heather Stepp won the NCAA vault title last year, and she's the defending SEC all-around champion, having won it 2 years in a row. Agina Simpkins, last season's SEC Freshman of the Year, and Lori Strong, member of the Canadian Olympic team in 1988 and 1992. She excels on the bars.
Georgia's chief rival has been Alabama. It likely will come down to those 2 teams in the end. But in the last 4 dual meets, Georgia's won them all. But they are concerned, this Georgia team, because of one premier gymnast, and we're talking about Dee Foster.
Dee Foster enters this competition ranked #1 in the nation. As a freshman in 1990, she won 3 national titles, including the all-around, then led Alabama to the national title in '91. Alabama won the SECs in 1990, and Foster would like nothing more than to have a win here on her home floor.
But this isn't a dual meet, and it's not just about upperclassmen. Some outstanding freshmen will be on display.
Jennifer Wood of LSU is also a member of the Canadian Olympic team, with vault being her most impressive event. One of the most highly recruited freshmen was Jenny Hansen, who surprised everyone when she opted for Kentucky. She's ranked 4th and can certainly go head-to-head with Dee Foster and Georgia's S squad.
You ready for the first rotation?
That's right.
We'll get to it. It's the 9th Southeastern Conference Women's Gymnastics Championship. It's hard to get bys in the second rotation. Here is Dana Dobransky on the uneven bars as we get underway. Senior from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Her career best mark 9.90. She hit that twice this season, including the team's dual meet, the first dual meet that she participated in.
And this is a great event for Alabama to start on. Keep in mind that every team can drop 1 low score on each event. And so far, their low score is a 9.55. Dana is 5'6", which is very tall for a gymnast. She works the unevens very well and takes advantage of kind of the new rules of bars. They go out much farther than they used to. Gives her a lot more swing room.
Very nice landing for her. She entered the championships ranked 17th in the nation in the uneven bars.
Their scores so far range from 9.7 to 9.9 if they can drop that low score of 9.55.
Dana's score, 9.80 for Dana Dobransky.
I really think it's going to take well over 9/8 to win this team title.
Now Jennifer Wood on the vault, a heralded freshman, bronze medalist in the vault in the '91 Pan American Games, competed in Barcelona for the Canadian Olympic team.
This is definitely her strongest event. Very dynamic. Handspring front with a half twist. And not only is it dynamic, she's very clean in the air. Her tuck is tight, toes pointed, legs together. So really there are very, very few deductions in this vault.
She's recognized around the world as one of the top vaulters. Tied individual LSU record on the vault with a 9.90 against Auburn earlier this year. Dee Bro-Pollock, her coach, counseling her there. And her score, 9.85 on the first vault.
Which will help LSU a lot. Their scores range from 9.4 to 9.75. She's performing the same vault again. Gymnast performed 2 vaults, but only the better score counts.
And the score on the second vault for Jenny Hansen, 9.85, which will raise LSU's number as a team to 48-30 after the vault. Now another freshman on display, Jenny Hansen, getting ready for the balance beam. Her coach, Leah Little, talked about the impact that she's definitely a candidate for the all-around title. Here she is.
And Kentucky is starting on balance beam, which is often considered the toughest event to start on. Difficult to control the adrenaline. I would have to say so, particularly since she's a freshman. This is her first big collegiate gymnastics competition.
attended Somerset High School, captured the all-around title there in 1990, so staying close to home.
Nice leap sequence there. She's really in a position to help her team out. Their scores range from 9.15 to 9.55.
This is not particularly her strong suit either.
Beautiful pass, very difficult. A back handspring to a half turn split jump. It's a very risky move. Front tuck, very similar to her mount. Here's her dismount. Round off, double full. Very nice landing. She's got to be pleased with that.
Born in St. Paul, Minnesota, Jenny Lucille Hansen. And they're happy for her.
This was her first pass on the balance beam, her most difficult tumbling run. It's 2 layout step outs in a row. You quite often see that at the elite level competition at the Olympics and World Championships. So a nice level of difficulty.
Wow, that is a nice score for her. And now Lynette Whitmire, Florida, in floor exercise, senior from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Florida has a new coach, Judy Abner, who was the coach at Penn State for 18 years before she took this position. She's really trying to build up the program and particularly working on their fitness level, getting in conditioners and strength coaches. Very, very clean. She was a member of the Canadian Olympic team in 1988. Tuck double back, nice ending.
Pretty good tumbling run, leading to what was a very clean routine.
And Florida needs this. They have scores ranging from the low to mid 9s, and they really need some higher 9 scores.
Team is happy for her. She had an outstanding NCAA championship in '89, now returning to all-around competition. During her junior season, Lynette Whitmire trying to give Florida a chance at making a run at both Georgia and Alabama. Her score, 9.75 in floor exercise for Lynette Whitmire. Now that brings us to Dee Foster of Alabama on the uneven bars, the only gymnast in NCAA history to win 13 All-American honors. Scored a perfect 10 on the uneven bars against LSU earlier this year.
Alabama has been doing extremely well over here. Low score of 9.55. And if Dee can hit a routine, they'll be able to drop that score and count all their scores well above 9.7. You can see she's very aggressive on this event. She hits every position. Great handstand. Nice release move, way up above the bar. Here's her dismount, tuck double back, and a great landing.
Oh, she stuck it, and her teammates know it. Dee Foster from Huntsville, Alabama, in her senior year, did not get to finish the SEC Championships due to injury last season, trying to punctuate her career for Alabama. Zan Yocklin and the job that she has done, and here's some of that depth in the form of Sandy Rolette Deal.
Handspring front vault, very dynamic. Look at the distance and height she got from the horse. Fortunately, she took a pretty big step. That'll be a significant deduction.
9.75, relatively surprising score.
Not quite as significant an deduction as I thought it would be.
Generally, you do see in collegiate gymnastics a little more freedom with respect to error where the judging is concerned, don't you?
I just think the scores tend to be a little bit higher because they keep it all relative. In collegiate gymnastics, these are the best gymnasts, and they score the best scores. She's performing the same vault again. It's a handspring front. Now she wants the same dynamics, good speed and good power, and hopefully stick the landing. Oh, she did it in pike position. Made it much more difficult. That vault was worth a 10.0 in Dakota points. The other vault was worth a 9.0. So just by virtue of it being a higher level vault, it can score better.
So 9.90 in her second attempt. And now here's Elizabeth Wilson, 1991 SEC co-champion on the uneven bars out of Springfield, Virginia for D.D. Pollock's team.
This is definitely her best event. She's the co-champion in 1991 at the SECs. Good landing. She's not quite as powerful as Dee Foster that we saw on the uneven bars. But she showed a nice combination of different types of skills in the routine.
She began the season with a hyper-extended elbow, limiting her to only 2 events during the regular season. There you see her score, 9.85, and Coach Pollock and her teammates very happy with that. Now, Heather Stepp of Georgia on the vault.
So far, Georgia is averaging over a 9.8 on the vault. Extraordinary scores here. Handspring front pike with a half twist. Excellent vault. Just that big step on the landing. Certainly cost her.
Trying to defend her vault title. Averaging 9.89 on the vault this year. Did have 110 against BYU just about a month ago at Brigham Young.
They really have an excellent vaulting group here. As I said, they're averaging over a 9.8 right now, with still Hope Spivey Sheely to come, who's also an excellent vaulter.
She's out of Mount Clemens, Michigan, Sterling Heights High School there.
Trying to improve on the landing on her second vault. Oh, she changed the vault. Handspring front pike. It's still worth a 10.0. And what's really strange about this is a harder vault to land than the first one because you can't see the mat. You just have to feel the landing.
I'd say she was in step with that landing, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
We're at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tim Brando along with Kathy Johnson. Happy to have you with us. Hope Spivey Sheely, recently married, on the vault.
Handspring front with a half twist in tucked position. You'll notice that she was quite a bit off center. She traveled to her right. And that'll be a deduction for the direction. Scored a 9.8 on her first vault. She really needs to try and straighten up that vault. Now, most of these gymnasts are performing 2 different vaults in preparation for the nationals and event finals, where they have to do 2 different vaults and they average the 2 vaults. Here, they can do the same vault twice if they'd like, and the best score counts. Much better. She's still a little bit off in the direction. That might be hard for the judges to see, especially when they were blinded by that stuck landing.
And the youngster from Suffolk, Virginia, very pleased with that score and that landing you just mentioned, Kathy. 9.95 her score. The third rotation is coming up. Olympic competitors such as this one, Lori Strong.
Well, Ernestine Weaver, the former coach of Florida, really started that migration. She began recruiting Canadians many, many years ago. Now watch this skill right there. It's a 4.5 twist over the low bar. That is named after this gymnast, Lori Strong. It's called the Strong move. Lori actually was a finalist at the World Championships, the individual event championships in Paris. Pike double back dismount, a very difficult routine. Here's that skill. Watch the 1.5 twist right there. to a regress. Very difficult to make the regress and then get your legs in position to swing on the low bar.
Suzanne Yacklin yelling yes, yes for that score. And they've got it 9.95 to go along with 3 other 9.9s by other competitors from Georgia. They're in great shape. There is Robert Dillard in his 8th season at Auburn, looking at one of his fine freshmen, Becky Irwin, ranked 12th in the NCAA in Floor X.
And Auburn and LSU really have a tight competition going for 3rd place. Full twisting double back, beautiful. Tight position. She's a very powerful tumbler.
Out of Pasadena, Texas. Really one of the reasons that Auburn finished with a 10-5 record entering the championships and a number 3 seed. Looks like another one of those clean performances to this point.
Nice combination of choreography and good tumbling. Here's her final pass. Another double back. Great level of difficulty in this routine. And that's going to be important. They have a low score of 9.2 that they would like to drop.
She won the all-around title at the 92 Canadian Invitational. There she is, Becky Irwin. And you mentioned that tight competition for 3rd place between Auburn and LSU. They'll be happy with this score, 9.90 for Becky Irwin. Now we move on to Heather Stepp of Georgia.
And this is a terrific bar team. They are ranked 2nd nationally on this event.
She has scored 10s on this apparatus before.
Beautiful routine. Oh, and a step on the landing. That will be a slight deduction. This could very well be the highest scoring event of the night for Georgia, for any team here.
Other teammates have already scored well, and Heather Stepp has a 9.90. So another good score for Georgia. Dee Foster knows about this rivalry.
We always look forward to being up against Georgia, and we hope that they look forward to being up against us, because I think it's a challenge for both teams involved, no matter what anybody says before or after, no matter what the result. They know we're tough, and we know they're tough, and that's all that matters.
This may be one of her weakest events, Kathy, but they need to score well on the balance beam.
It's hard to say Dee has a weak event. I'd say her other 3 are stronger.
Needless to say, if she's going to win the all-around, she needs to score well in this routine.
And mind, Jenny Hansen already scored a 9.85 on this event, so it's put some pressure on all the other contenders in the all-around. One thing that competing in collegiate gymnastics has done for these gymnasts prior to starting their collegiate career, they didn't compete as often. In college, they compete sometimes every weekend or every other weekend in their dual competitions, and they get so much more consistent on this event doing that. Tuck double back, excellent dismount. Just that one step on the landing, everything else was very, very solid.
The first gymnast in NCAA history to accomplish 13 All-America honors in a career. Dee Foster very pleased with that routine. It's a 9.85 for her as the rivalry continues. After 18 years of success at Penn State, she shouldn't feel that pressure. Amy Meyerson, perhaps, though, a little sweaty palm or two as a freshman competing in her first SEC gymnastics competition on the uneven bars.
Well, she has a lot of experience competing at the elite level from 1988 to 91 before her collegiate career.
Her career best 9.80 on the uneven bars.
Nice solid routine for Florida.
1991 Peachtree Classic all-around champion, Amy Meyerson from West Hartford, Connecticut. They anticipate the score. Florida just happy to be in this competition at this level after 1 year under their new coach. 9.80 that score. And here's Jenny Hansen again from Kentucky, ranked second in the vault in the NCAAs.
Beautiful vault, handspring front with a half twist. We've seen several of them throughout the competition. She came out with a great landing.
3 perfect 10s for her on the vault this year, and in her first attempt here, 9.90. Her last one coming just 3 weeks ago against Northern Illinois.
So far in the all-around, she is doing very well. She has a pair of 9.85s, balance beam and floor exercise.
Quite a coming out party, wouldn't you say?
And this is her best event. She's very, very powerful. You can see it in her run, in her explosiveness off the horse.
Now her second vault.
She repeats the same vault. It's even better. The landing was just more secure, though. She didn't move her feet on the first landing. This one was... There it is.
There it is, a perfect 10. Her 4th of the year. And there's Dee Dee Pollock, head coach at LSU for 16 years. Building a program from the ground up. Native of the Bayou State. And here's Jennifer Wood of LSU, another outstanding freshman in the SEC on the beam.
Now, I don't think we've seen this many freshmen come on so strong so quickly at the collegiate level. It usually takes them a couple of years to adjust to college life and collegiate competition. Keep in mind, Jennifer has competed at the Olympic Games and at World Championships, so she's very experienced in dealing with high-level pressure.
Really gives instant credibility to the LSU program simply having her on their roster. Her career best 9.70. Actually, her season best 9.70 on this event.
Nice original move there. What's nice to see is that in a sport that in the Olympics you're 14 and 15 years old, that these gymnasts continue to get better and better in their late teens and early 20s at the college level. Tuck double back dismount, very difficult routine.
And again, as we mentioned, LSU battling it out with Auburn for 3rd place in the team competition. They are very pleased with that performance by Jennifer on the balance beam. Her score 9.80, and that is a career high. As we mentioned, her season best had been 9.70 prior to that performance. And once again, Dee Foster ranked 2nd in Florex, a 9.95 average. This should be quite a show.
She is always very entertaining in this event. In fact, the entire Alabama team usually has very entertaining floor routines. Beautiful double pike. Notice how she laid out into that first somersault. Whip back all the way through to a tuck double back. Nice difficulty.
It's a great opportunity for her. She was injured, did not finish this meet a year ago, but she won this particular event, this apparatus, in '91 at Lexington. this. Nice performance and an opportunity at making up for some lost ground after that ankle injury last year. Dee Foster. Oh, the embrace. She knows she has a good score, and she does. 9.95. That is good enough to tie her for first place. And as we look at the all-around, so far no surprises. She's tied with Nika Logan on the balance beam.
And I think I know what she was thinking. This is an important routine for Georgia. Nika was much more consistent on beam last season, but she is very capable of a big score.
Yeah, she is. Co-champion of the balance beam a year ago in the SECs with a 9.90.
Watch this tumbling pass. Round off, back handspring, layout. Very difficult and well done. We've seen several beam routines in this competition, and they've all had enough difficulty in the routine for the routine to be scored from a 10.0, but hers has much more difficulty. Unfortunately, you don't get extra credit for that.
From a team standpoint, too, they need her to perform well on this apparatus to stave off Alabama.
Beautiful flexibility. Nice control. Excellent work. Great routine.
She is
much needed for Georgia and for her, just for her confidence going into nationals.
Jumping for joy, I'd say. Nika Logan.
Georgia had a little bit of a pad because of their excellent work on the uneven bars, but they still need to keep the pressure on Alabama.
Tying a career high for her, a 9.90. And now Jenny Hansen getting ready for the uneven bars. This is her last apparatus in this SEC championship.
Kentucky isn't in any position to move up, but this is Jenny's chance to secure her position.
Kentucky gets a bye in the 6th rotation, so obviously she needs to go for it and will.
You also have to keep in mind Dee Foster is headed to her best event, the vault. So this is going to come down to the very last event. There's her release move. Front foot catch. Her dismount, full twisting double back. The only one we've seen in this competition. Very high level of difficulty.
Again, to remind you, just 19 years old. You have to understand the moment and how it feels for her at this time.
Here's her release move. It's a front flip catch.
One judge gave her a 10. Her overall score a 9.95. Great score for Jenny Hansen. Now Heather Stepp on the balance beam.
This is Heather's weakest event in terms of consistency. She's had a couple of trouble times this season on this event. Nice pass. Back handspring to a layout step out, and then she tumbled out of the layout into another back handspring.
As a matter of fact, she's coming off her worst performance of the season at home in the Bulldog Invitational. She only scored 9.30 on the beam.
She also has a pair of 9.9s in the all-around, so she's right up there with Jenny Hansen and Dee Foster. Tuck double bat. Nice routine and very important for her.
To overcome what had been a very difficult routine for her on the beam. That means a lot, doesn't it, Kathy, to come back in an event as important as this and perform well. That number certainly means a lot to this Georgia team, but perhaps more specifically to her. Now Hope Spivey-Shealy on balance beam. Scored a season high 9.90 in the last 2 meets, so we should see an outstanding performance here from her.
And she's averaged over a 9.7 all season long, so she's been very consistent. With a good routine here, Georgia will be back on top. Notice how crisp and clear all her movements are. Very aggressive on the landings to not give away any balance breaks. Tuck back to a kick out, swing down. Hope competed in the 1988 Olympic Games for the U.S. Here's her dismount, round off, double back. Georgia does a nice level of difficulty on all the events.
Is that what sets them apart, Kathy?
It really is, and in the past it's been risky for them because it's kind of a hit or miss situation. If you throw all those hard skills, it's much easier to miss one of them, but it's really starting to pay off for them.
And there you see their score, 9.85. It's a whole different level of competition within for this Georgia team, going after a 3rd straight SEC title. And Jenny Hansen, Jennifer Wood, Dee Foster, Heather Stepp, all right there in the individual all-around. Marty Watson now of Alabama on the vault.
Sukahara with a full twist in tuck position. One of the more difficult vaults being done.
This is the only apparatus that she competes in on a regular basis, and the only apparatus that she's competed in tonight. A little more pressure on her to perform because of that fact. There's her score, 9.70 in her first attempt.
And that vault is worth a 9.9, so that's what it was judged from. She's a pretty consistent 9.5 to 9.7 vaulter. She's done very, very well. They have a little bit of pressure here since they have a score of 9.05 that they'd like to drop. So they really need to finish up with some high scores in this rotation. The first vault was really better. Took a step on that landing, so I'm sure the first score will be the highest of the two, and that's the one she'll take. Yeah,
her second score, 9.60, so they'll keep the 9.70, and that itself will certainly help as you look at Agina Simpkins, the sophomore, ranked number 10 in NCAA in floor exercise. Agina will do this performance to Michael Jackson's Jam.
And this is a crowd pleaser.
Sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Well choreographed.
excellent tumbling throughout the whole routine. And as you said, very well choreographed.
The big finish. Agina Simpkins, the 1992 SEC Freshman of the Year, not suffering a sophomore slump by any means in the floor X.
She's having a great all-around competition as well. She scored a 9.9 on bars. Watch the power in her tumbling. This was her final tumbling round, a front flip through to a full twist and a punch 1 1/4 to her stomach.
Given that performance, that should pretty much sew up the team title once again for Georgia as they look for a score, and there it is at 9.90. You see, even her teammates are disappointed.
The collegiate crowds are so accustomed to 10-0s, they forget a 9.9 is a great score.
Take a break. Georgia looking great because they have not competed in as many as LSU and Kentucky. Here is Kim Kelly, freshman from Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Alabama has 2 great vaulters closing out this lineup. Kim Kelly doing a handspring front vault. That's worth a 9.9 in the Dakota points. And then, of course, to follow her, Dee Foster. Alabama really needs some big scores.
If they want to catch Georgia, you're absolutely right. 9.80 on her first vault.
They're really not in a position to. They'd have to count on Georgia making a mistake. Handspring pike front. Oh, much more difficult vault, but trouble with the rotation on that vault and, of course, the landing. So she'll take that first vault score.
9.80 will be her official score. And here is Hope Spivey Shealy on to defend her SEC Floor X championship. Scored a 10 in last year's championships and is ranked #1 in the NCAA this season.
She has scored very well throughout this competition, but she can't place in the all-around because she didn't compete on the uneven bars. She's a very powerful tumbler. Watch this pass. Front, tuck, all the way through to a full twisting double back. Very few full twisting double backs being done in collegiate gymnastics, and she does a front flip to go into it. Another full twisting double back. Now I'm positive that's the first time I've seen it done in collegiate gymnastics twice in the same routine.
She became just the 5th collegiate gymnast in history to post a perfect 10-0 in floor exercises.
Here's her final tumbling run, tuck, double back. Probably the most difficult routine being done in the competition on any event.
There's her husband, Dale Shealy Jr., a graphic artist for a real estate company. Keeps a couple of jobs while the '88 U.S. Olympian continues to compete. She's very happy with her performance, and well, she should be. Her score, there it is, another perfect 10 for Hope Spivey Shealy. Georgia can feel it, can't they? Dee Foster, how she would like to be remembered at Alabama.
An unselfish contributor, I think, is how I want to be remembered by mainly the small circle of athletics here at the university. Of course, by my teammates, the ones that I have now and the ones that are to come later. I want everyone to, if they ever talk about me, I want them to explain that I was a person that had to make the transition from being an individual gymnast to a team gymnast, and it was a very hard thing for me to understand and accomplish, but I did it. And I think that was the turning point in my gymnastics career when I made that decision to be a team player.
She'll need a 9.95 to tie Jenny Hansen for the all-around title. This is her last performance at Coleman Coliseum.
Pike front somersault, beautiful vault, just a hop on the landing. And I have to say, I've known Dee for a long time, since she was an elite gymnast and competed as an individual. And a lot of growth there. It's what being an athlete is all about. Alabama is not in a position to move ahead of Georgia, but Dee is certainly in a position to go for that top spot. Needs a 9.95 to tie Jenny Hansen for the lead, for the win.
The look of a focused athlete, realizing that this is her last gasp at home at the collegiate level.
Same ball. No, pike front with a half twist.
Hey, a bold move, wouldn't you say? Changing it up.
No, I'm impressed. These gymnasts have become much more bold in their gymnastics and in competition.
And the embrace, the hugs, which are very much a part of this sport. And her last score ever at Alabama, just the score she needed to capture her share of the all-around. We hope you enjoyed the 1993 SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships. The results in the all-around: Jenny Hansen of Kentucky and Dee Foster of Alabama tie at 39.65. And in the team competition, Georgia and Alabama again at the very top, a third straight SEC title for Georgia. Kathy Johnson, your impressions?
I think this sets up a great competition to come at the national championships coming up. And Georgia and Alabama can both set their sights on the defending champs, Utah.
For Kathy Johnson, Tim Brando saying so long from Tuscaloosa.